How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the 2024 Sneaker of the Year panel. So we are gonna have a little bit of discussion today about what were the top 10 sneakers of the year. So this list that we compiled, we did not vote on it. You guys actually voted on it. So we sent out a bracket with the list. All the shoes are on there. You guys were able to vote. We took your guys' results, compiled the top 10 lists, and we're gonna go through that list here today. So I do have two guests on the panels if you guys wanna introduce yourselves.
Yes, Javon Pizarro. I'm the owner of Kicksnap Sneaker App. Gave it a shot, dropped it just last year, it's going strong. Best sneaker shopping app out there.
I'm Ashley Mariscal, just a sneaker fan. If you've seen my IG, Kicks for Ash, just love to collect sneakers.
And I am your host, Daniel Jimenez. I've been in the sneakers for like 20 years. I actually work for a local sneaker shop out here whose name I will not mention. But so just before we get into the list, guys, I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion of how you guys felt about sneakers in general in 2024. So if you guys want to share your thoughts, Javon, if you want to kind of give some pointers on how you felt the year was this year. I personally think it was a very interesting year for sneakers. What do you think?
I think a lot of brands had a strong year. I thought you had a lot of representation across the board. Of course, like you had your big names, like your Nikes, Adidas came in pretty strong. I think I have a couple of both of those in my top 10 as far as this year. As well as, there's a few other brands that have representation. I think everything from like Saucony to Asics to even I would throw up in there Solomon had a good year. So I think I saw a lot of good representation across the board. So excited to see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing I would say is interesting about this year as opposed to past is definitely diversity. Like it seems like every brand had something going. It didn't seem like there was one brand that like dominated the whole year.
Right.
Like it seems like in years past, it was like you had Nike with all the dunk stuff that went on in like past years. Definitely this year was very diverse as far as the offerings. And I think it was exciting to see every brand do something, have like a moment at some point.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ash?
Too. A lot of good stories from different brands. And I also just feel like this year was a lot of I never got those, I'm gonna get them now finally moments. So that was kind of cool that a lot of people that, there was a lot of shoes out there that they always wanted that they were able to get. I know people feel a little weird about that because, it kind of messes up the whole resale thing. But I mean, I'm at that age where, I can finally get them. Like, feel good.
It feels good. No doubt.
So with that being said, did you guys find yourself going for more new releases or going back and trying to get some old stuff?
It's funny because I think I did get some old stuff, but some of them I already had from like Black Cement 3s. I had the 2018 pair, but I was like, I can see myself wearing this forever. So I'm gonna get this pair because this one's gonna end up being just
get one to stock and you run through the old one.
And this time is like getting the stock and it's like affordable.
Yeah.
So if it was like resale high, then I wouldn't have done it. But I was like, since it's easier to get, I'm gonna take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, that's definitely something I think a lot of people were doing. Is a lot of stuff sat this year. I mean, obviously the high collab stuff sold out like it normally does, but there was a lot of more GR stuff that sat, and if you wanted it, you can definitely get it, if not under retail. So
and some collabs sat too.
Yeah, some collabs. I mean, even stuff we're seeing recently. I know the Ama Manier, like both 3s and 4s sat. You could get those relatively easy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Even the Stash shoe that just came out recently, I'm very big on the Air Max. Those I've seen at different places throughout the day. Like they were still on websites with like sizes. You didn't have to
wait. If you missed it that morning, like I feel like a lot of shoes that they did sell out, but if you missed that morning, you can still get it the day, that same day.
If you know how to do your due diligence, for sure.
Yeah, which a year ago you could not do.
Cool. So we can start getting into the list. Kind of like I mentioned before, this was all voted on by you guys. We sent out a link. It had kind of a bracket format with all the shoes that we're going to discuss on it. So you guys voted, we compiled the results, and that's kind of what made up our list. So it's not anything that we voted on or put together specifically. It's kind of our bias is removed from that. We are just going to discuss what you guys voted on and if it made our list and if we think it should have been higher or lower.
You had plenty of days to vote too, so no excuses.
No excuses.
And if you guys missed out, make sure you guys pay attention because we will do this next year. So make sure you guys pay attention when we send out the link so you guys can vote. Cool. All right, guys. So now we'll get into the top 10 list. So at number 10, was the Nike Vomero 5 designed by Japan. So I'm not sure if this was on any of your guys' lists. Personally, it wasn't on mine. I didn't jump on the Vomero wave this past year. Nothing against it. I'm just a big New Balance guy. So for my mesh runner taste, I'll stick with like the New Balance stuff. But what did you guys think about that Vomero 5?
I got to agree with the Vomero 5. I'd say Vomero did make my list personally for top 10 of the year. So
was it this specific one or was it a different one?
I think I put Vomero's just overall.
In general?
Like I'd say the front running of that has to be the Japan. So
okay.
Like, I can get that. I can get
Yeah,
that.
I like that one. I did not get that one, but like I have other Vomeros, and so I feel like that's my new Ultra Boost.
Yeah.
I've been wearing them for the last 2 years, and yeah, they've been great. So
Yeah.
I think most people catch me wearing Vomeros more than anything else this year. So
Yeah, it's definitely that comfy shoe. I had a guy at work try it out for the first time and he like loved it. He's like, dude, I need to get every color of this shoe. Like, just love the comfort and everything. The style's cool. Like, obviously we know that mesh runner trend is in right now. So
for sure.
I feel like people who don't want to switch from Nike and still want to do the mesh runner trend, definitely going with the Vomero.
I get a lot of compliments. I have the silver one, the women's, the Platon Dust.
Yeah.
I people that I don't even think they're sneakerheads. They just like somebody at work the other day was just like, oh my
Those
God.
are catchy.
And I was like,
Those are
thanks.
definitely catchy.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, so even like non-sneakerheads are starting to give you compliments.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So the next shoe we have on the list actually surprised me. We had a little discussion before we started recording about it. I didn't even know when it came out. But at number 9, we have the Jack Harlow New Balance 1906R. If you guys are unfamiliar, that's the one that kind of has like the cherry blossom looking like design on it. Kind of gives me like a grandma's couch vibe.
Okay.
But that one was made number 9, which surprised me because like we talked about before, I didn't even know when it came out. So I don't even know if it was on any of your guys' radar.
What you think?
No, it wasn't on my radar.
No. So if it wasn't, what do you think something you would have replaced it with? I mean, not knowing what the rest of the list is.
I would say the J-Tips one.
J-Tips Saucony.
Yeah. Because I really like that one, but it wouldn't be in my top 5 because I really don't, even if it wasn't that brand, if even it was Nike or something, it's too loud for me that I would wear it. But I do like it, and I think when I see other people wearing it.
Was it the tan one or the like pinkish color one?
I like the pinkish one.
Yeah, the pinkish
one's
one's definitely the better one.
Yeah.
1906R, same thing. It made it into my top 10 for the year. So I'd say I didn't see those
Jack
ones,
Harlow
those
one,
specific ones, but 1906R had a strong run. So
did you see the Saucony that Ash was talking about, the J-Tips one?
I did. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Or it could have been super late last year.
Yeah, it was beginning. I want to say it might have been like February, March, I think.
Maybe. Okay,
yeah.
that sounds about right. Yeah, I can go.
I just remember seeing J-Tips wearing them when he was in Paris, like during the Olympics, I think, or during Men's Fashion Week, and I was like, oh, those are really like, I was feeling them more when I saw him wearing those.
And to your point earlier, I feel like that one, like if you really wanted it, it sat around in different places and you could have got it. So yeah, that one was definitely good. That J-Tips one actually made my list. So that's pretty good. So we'll move on to number 8, which is something we were kind of discussing earlier. The Nina Chanel Air Jordan 3.
That's on my list.
Yeah. Did you have it at 8 or did you have it kind of higher?
No, I had it at 8. Or
About
not
8,
8, but like
somewhere
lower.
in that range?
Yeah, I knew it like top 5, bottom 5. And I feel like it was probably between 5 and 6. Because it was just, like, I just like the fact that they were able to like change the Nike Air with that material. Like that green, The Chanel swoosh stuff on the back.
And
even the logo, the Nike, the Jumpman logo is different. Yeah. Like that's really cool. And I'm surprised, like, even the box is like I got it, yes. And so it was like an artist, the way the material of the box, and it felt like a piece of art.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
That will make your list?
I felt like it made a lot of noise. It didn't personally make my list, but I can accept. I can get behind.
How do you stand on Jordan 3s in general? Like, you big Jordan 3 guy?
My favorite got to be the 4s, but Jordan 3s are hard too. So, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the camp right now. People are either like Jordan 3 or Jordan 4 guy.
The 4s are the 10s.
4s or 10s for you?
I like 10s too.
Okay.
But, I know that's not as popular, but 4s definitely people. I feel like those are always gonna get loved.
Yeah, personally, Nina Chanel is definitely a shoe that we kind of talked about it a little bit off camera, like certain shoes coming out and kind of forgetting about it. That was one at the time, like I wanted it. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then now thinking about the list, like I definitely need to go back and get that shoe. So number 7, I feel like is gonna be kind of a hot topic. Again, I keep mentioning, we were having discussions before we started recording, but this shoe is definitely, I feel like a hot topic, not only amongst us in the room, but just overall in general, was the Adidas AE1.
Okay.
That came in at number 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know you had it pretty high when you were talking earlier.
But just paying attention to like, your complex cons, stuff like that, just following those pages. I thought AE1 definitely was just leading the year.
Yeah.
I could see that being number 1 just because of how much noise it made. But yeah, I put it in my list too.
I feel like they did a good job. Like it's the first time in a long time we've seen like one of the brands put a lot of effort into the marketing behind it.
Right.
And they did a lot of stuff with like the commercials and the marketing behind that stuff. So Ash, what's your take on it?
I do like it. I haven't really, I feel like just because I saw it last year, I feel like it's also just the time of year, like during basketball season, when they were during the playoffs. I can see it being why it was such a high number, like when Complex did it number 1, which I'm still like surprised it's number 1. If it was during playoffs and we were doing the voting, that would make sense to me why it would be so high. But I'm actually glad it's that number. Like I think it should be in the top 10. I just didn't understand why it was like a top 3 or 4.
I think this is the thing when you talk about personal lists. Like for me, it wouldn't have made my list as far as something I would have worn. But when you discuss about everything that goes on with it, how big of an impact it had, I would definitely have put it on the top 10.
That makes sense.
Personally, like I'm not gonna wear a hoop shoe. Like it's definitely designed to be worn on the court.
Right.
So it would have been higher on the list for me, but just because of the amount of noise and how many people, and like you said, the playoffs, he was going off in the playoffs. So definitely had like a big impact. So I understand why it's on people's list for sure.
No doubt.
So moving on, so the next shoe we have at number 6, kind of no surprise. I feel like this person has a shoe on the list every year for like the past 5 years, but it's gonna be a Travis Scott, the Travis Scott Low Medium Olive. Okay. What do you guys think about that one?
I like that one more than the Canary.
The Canary?
I have to agree with that. I didn't mind the Canary. I
the
like
Canary's
the
growing on me. We were talking about the Canary's growing on me.
I think it's a nice shoe, but I would probably put the olive ahead of that.
The olive?
Sure. Yeah, I can go behind that.
In general, are you guys tired of Travis Scott low ones being on the list? I feel like you get an argument. You get like people who are hardcore Travis fans. It's like no matter what, it's always going to be a Travis on the list.
I really like the colors of the Travises, so I think I'm always going to like it. So
not mad at the Travis making the list.
I'm not tired, but he's on the clock.
Yes,
I say maybe like
I agree.
Maybe another year or 2. Yeah, I can
the good thing is, I mean, this year he finally did have an original silhouette drop. We'll see if it made the list when we get towards the end. But I'm happy that he's kind of starting to diversify and not do the same thing. Yeah. One thing I will say about the Travis though, that olive, did you like it better than the first olive colorway? The one that was predominantly black?
I like that one more.
That one more.
But I didn't get that one and I'm not gonna pay for that resale price. So I'm glad that medium olive came out because I was like, okay, I can have something similar and it was easy for me. I was able to get that one.
Yeah.
So
and the price isn't too high. It's kind of about the 5 to 6 range depending. So I think it's still pretty obtainable and hasn't kind of reached that out of reach status like we were discussing.
I'm not gonna get that other one.
Yeah, once it starts getting close to 1,000, it's kind of like, all right, kind of starting to let that one go.
Let it go.
So moving on, number 5. This one was an interesting one too. New silhouette this year, depending on how you want to classify that. But it's the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4 RM. Specifically the Grandma's Driveway, the green one. I know you were talking about that earlier.
Love that
How do we feel about that?
Valid, definitely valid.
Valid?
Valid, for sure.
I'll get that. Top 5 lower or top 5 higher? Or upper 5, lower 5, I'm not sure how you classified it.
Just off hype alone, I probably lower 5.
Lower 5?
Probably lower 5.
So in a good spot at 5?
I'd say so.
Ash, what do you think?
I'm okay with 5, but I would probably have it at 4 or 3.
4 or 3? Not mad at it. Personally, I know I might get hate for this. I would have put it in the upper 5. It's probably, I would probably like 6 or 7 for me, only because there's other shoes that I personally would have worn like more than that one, but I love the color. We were talking about earlier, the green.
Yes.
That shade of green's awesome. The box was cool, the rollout was cool. I think anytime Nigel does something, there's a lot of like hype behind it. So.
And it's cool that the black pair I think it's nice and it's affordable. Like you can still get it right now.
Yeah.
For like
I think
under
that's the other
200.
thing too, is some people prefer the black. Like some people weren't messing with the
Yeah, I
green
know
one.
a lot of people were preferring the black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything with the mini swoosh, I'm on board. So,
Same.
Yeah,
Or
the
like
little mini
just
swoosh
yeah,
hit.
shoot.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
especially because they do like a little interesting color hit, so it always makes it pop too. So
I agree with
definitely love that.
that. I agree with that.
All right, so now we're moving into the lower half. We're kind of moving pretty quick, guys. So we'll see if we have any other talking points after this. Maybe there's some stuff that we would have added that didn't make the list. Number 4 is interesting. I kind of felt like if you guys have seen the complex list, this is kind of something similar, but it's the Kith ASIC Marble Pack. How do we feel about that one?
I like the I like the packaging of it, and there's certain ones I do like. I didn't care for the Silver Surfer one. The Green Goblin one was pretty cool. I think the Venom one was cool. So there's certain ones I do like. Like I said, the pack was pretty cool. Like the box, comic book thing.
How do you think about including it as an entire package of all like 5 shoes?
That makes sense, I guess.
Right. It made my list. I'll say A6.
Yeah.
I thought that specific, the Kith one. I'd say the Silver Surfer is probably my favorite.
Your favorite one?
Yeah.
The funny thing to me is I feel like what I've been hearing is a lot of people like the Venom one from the pack and
Okay.
not necessarily the Spider-Man one.
Really?
So like wishing they would have split that pack up because I feel like a lot of people
That
like
would
the
have been
Venom.
cool. That would have been cool.
Yeah, because we have a pair at the store and we have it actually in the window just because of where we're located. And a lot of people come in asking for the black one and I'm like, no, it's a pack. Like you have to get
really?
both of them.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn, like I just want the black one. So I feel like with that one, like splitting up the pack probably would have sold a little more units. I don't know, but like anytime Kith does anything, like, I don't know, I'm a big Kith person myself. So like Ronnie always goes all out with like packaging, rollouts and all that stuff.
Right. So they knocked it out with this one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they did too.
So moving on, the other thing too, I think ASIC in general is having a big year. Like I know we were talking about that earlier. You said you liked a lot of like the ASIC stuff.
I'd say so.
This next one I think is gonna surprise people as far as placement. This is another one where I feel like you love it or you hate it, but it's the Wu-Tang Nike Dunk High
Wow,
at number
pretty
3.
high.
Yeah, did that make your list?
No, I mean, I saw the hype for it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
personally off mine, I probably wouldn't choose it in my top 10. But yeah, I saw a lot of noise for the Wu-Tang. Yeah.
The rollout was cool, and they even got did the campaign with
The next.
the Knicks. Yeah,
People wanted that for a while. I feel like
Yeah.
they finally
Yeah.
came out with that and they listened, but like people wanted that one for a
what do
while.
you feel about the color? Because I know it's not like the same yellow that they used on the original.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more gold, kind of like you were talking about earlier, like your jersey.
I like it better.
Like it better?
I like it. I like how it looks, but I get the original being the original too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like that's a shoe if you wanted to cop, like it's not going for too much on resale.
Yeah.
What about you, Ashley, to make your list?
I don't think it made my list, but I really did like it. I didn't end up, I did try to get it, and I was just like, if I don't get it, then I'm fine with not getting it. And so I, surprisingly, even though it sounded like everybody got it, I was not able to get it.
Same. I
So-
entered a bunch of raffles.
I did. I actually tried, so it wasn't like, oh, let me do one raffle. No, I actually went through multiple, and I was like, okay, fine. And then I did check recently. I do check to see if the price has gone down, and it's gone down a little. So maybe eventually I'll get it.
Yeah.
I feel like even though it's not just the Wu-Tang thing, but also just I wear that color, like ASU color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I could see myself wearing that. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like hip hop. So anytime there's like any kind of hip hop rapper collab or anything like that,
You're
like the
rolling.
Run the
Right,
Jewels,
right.
like SB,
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't hit on it, but I'm definitely gonna have to circle around the block and get that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
And I think eventually I will get it. Like I think it's gonna there's gonna be a price point that I'll find.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
I actually had one, the homie hit, and he posted it on his Instagram and gave it to me for a good price, but then they canceled his order. So
Oh.
I had one on, I sent him the
Damn.
money, and then the next day he ended up sending it back.
Uh,
So still on the hunt for that one. If anybody
Still
has
close.
a size 10.5. So number 2, which is actually, doesn't surprise me because it's definitely where I would have put it on my personal list, if not at number 1. A little hint as what it could possibly be. We have the Action Bronson 1906, not actually the blue one, the Medusa one, the Rose Water was at number 2.
The light one, the lighter.
Yes, the lighter one. It has kind of like the pink cup in the
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I do like that one.
So did that make your guys' list at all? You guys kind of surprised where it's at?
I'm surprised where it's at. But then again, I feel like more people are wearing New Balance. So
New Balance stuff. Yeah, they're definitely continuing momentum. I want to say for the last at least 2, if not 3 years, been kind of
Real
pushing
strong.
with it.
New Balance has definitely had a surge, but those definitely made my list.
The Rosewater, where'd you have it on yours? Lower or higher 5?
Higher 5.
Higher 5?
Higher 5 for sure.
Yeah, that's another one too. That one was a pain to try to get. I feel like the launch, if anybody's trying to get any of the Action Bronson stuff, when he launches on his website, it's a pain in the ass to try to get it. And then there was also the yellow one that was some weird like friends and family type drop. I don't know if you guys remembered that one.
Vaguely.
Yeah, so he dropped the Rosewater one first.
Yeah.
Then he dropped that other one. It was like an orange yellow, and it kind of came out in between. And he was like to his loyal customers. So I don't know how he established that list, but he's, I guess, sent out like an email, and then you were able to purchase
So
them.
maybe if you bought something before, or like I think didn't New Balance do something like that too? If you had bought previously I can't remember what shoe it was. I think the Amy Landor New Balance. If you had previously had purchased something, I think you got a pre-order or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you follow that same.
Well, that's kind of interesting because like even Bronson's not the only one. With the Wu-Tang, they did that whole deal with the Shopify. Or not Shopify, Spotify.
Okay.
Whoever the top listeners were of Wu-Tang Clan on Spotify, they
dope.
sent out a link to be able to buy the shoe too.
I like
so
that. That's dope.
that was like a dope little activation for that one.
They need to do that for tickets.
Yeah, for sure. For concert tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're at the big moment, the number 1 shoe, which I think if you can kind of run down the list, and if you remember the brackets may not be surprising. Then again, it may be surprising to you guys. I think we're definitely gonna, I don't know if it made any of our number 1 spots, but it's the Futura Nike SB Dunk Low. What are you guys' thoughts on the Futura and it being number 1?
The Futura one.
That's the like tie-dye colored one, yeah.
Okay, I slept on it. I could see people doing that one. Being the number 1, I could see it.
Did it make your list?
It didn't make my list because I forgot about it.
Was there any SB that made the list that you would have replaced it with?
No.
You think that was the best SB of the year?
Yep, now that I remember back to it,
yeah,
for sure.
What do you think, Ash?
That was on my list. That was top. That was number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah, because for me, like personally, I had gotten the canary yellow Travis's.
Okay.
And I traded those immediately for those.
Futura.
Yeah.
So you did cop?
I did cop through a trade.
Okay.
Shout out to Wilson. So, but yeah, that was the only way. Now, the material itself, I think it should have been better. I didn't like that canvas theme, but the color, I just really thought it was like a piece of art.
They knocked it out the park.
What do you think about the friends and family version?
That one's nice too.
Do you like it?
I like the one.
Me and you are in agreement there. Everyone's gassed about the friends and family one, but I actually like the GR release one better than the friends and family one. The blues to me is better than the like
blue,
orange.
Teal, and purple. Even the laces, like how they have the different colors. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I picked the GR version.
So
I don't know. It's not really a GR. It's because it was hard to get. But yes.
So it would have made my list for sure. I don't know if I would have put it at number 1 personally. Just kind of like my taste in what I've been wearing. Like I still do wear like SBs and dunks, but I think I would have put it probably top 5 for sure, but not 1. But yeah, I mean, you guys can definitely sound out in the comment section. Let us know what your guys' number 1 is. But now that we have the list out, is there anything that was missing from your guys' personal list or anything you guys would have taken off?
I'm kind of surprised that Travis Trainer didn't get on
the Jumpman Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier about Travis kind of pivoting and trying something new. I was also surprised that none of the Jumpman Jacks, either the mocha colorway that just came out or the original, the sale one.
I like the red one.
The red one, really?
Yeah. I was at a store the other day and I looked at the other one, the cream one, and I was like, do I want this one? And then I saw the one with the red swoosh, and I was like, I really like this one more. I feel like that red swoosh really.
A little more contrast.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, I threw Solomon out there. I say XT6.
XT6.
I like that black XT6. I think that's a clean shoe.
Yeah.
I thought the CDG, I know you guys said it was kind of out of reach, but I thought the CDG foam posit, the black ones, hard.
One of the guys at the shop actually bought one. He says it was on accident. He was checking price on stock and hit the button one too many times. and he ended up buying it. He was kind of kicking himself about how much he paid, but he really wanted it. So it's a dope shoe in person, to be honest.
Yeah, I believe you.
I'm not the biggest on foams, but actually seeing it, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty dope. Like, I see why people like it. Anything else you would have put on there?
Okay, technically they were last year, but the CPFM Air Forces, the fuchsia color.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like that one. I got the white one. I didn't get that one, but
From sneakers or from CPFM?
I got it. It's through trading.
Oh, some trades? Nice.
That's the one that says cactus.
Yeah,
Sunshine, yeah.
But that fuchsia color, even the green one, I really like. I like both of those a lot.
I like the all white.
Yeah, that was one of the L's I took this year. Was it this year? I can't remember. Everything starts to mix together when they release.
I feel like because the one that the SB came out, that came out maybe
I feel like
right
it
before
was this year though.
Yeah, but the white ones had came out the year before, right? So I didn't know. Kind of like
the 4-pack.
Yeah.
That I got an email. I was at work in the middle of doing something, and then checked my email an hour later, and the shoe was sold out.
Damn.
So
okay.
I clicked the link, went to buy it, shit was already gone.
Damn.
So that one still kind of stings. Same thing happened with the medium olive.
Yeah.
I went to my spam folder and I went to check out and it was already gone. So
anything TravisScott.com is VIP.
Yeah, double L's there.
Right. Nike Sunder Kids are Immigrants.
That's the one shoe we didn't talk about that I thought,
I would say so.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm surprised. I know we had talked about it. That one missed the bracket, unfortunately. But that's a shoe that I think a lot of people are gonna have on their list that we did not talk about. How do you guys feel about that shoe in general, like the GR colorways?
That purple one is nice.
It's hard. I love the purple one specifically. The orange one's okay too, but I like the purple one is hard.
Yeah, to me, I think we're all in agreement.
95.
The purple one's the best out of those two.
Right.
That was another shoe I feel like they dropped this year and kind of had some motion is that Sonder. So I thought that was a good release. The only other thing I can think of, we kind of mentioned it earlier, was the Stash Air Max was a shoe I would put on my top 10 for sure.
That's a good one.
That's gonna be, it would be definitely higher top 10, but that blue, I love the blue on that shoe. That shoe's freaking awesome.
I don't know if it's a top 10, but honorable mention is the Wet Cement 4s.
Wet Cement 4s.
I really like that pair.
Yeah, that was a cool one. All like kind of monochrome gray. 4s still, again, working in a shop, guys, like 4s is still hitting
Military
right now.
blues?
Military blues not on my list.
No, I just meant like
in general,
they sell, right?
Yeah, military 4. I think the one that for us that has been selling the most, I don't know if it's a surprise to anybody or not, is White Thunders.
Oh,
White Thunders is kind of like what everyone's asking for.
Good.
What do you think about the Fear 4s that came out?
I don't know about those.
No, that one just came out too.
Yeah, it's like a re-release. Yeah, I know that. That's another one of those where people didn't get them before, and this is their chance to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
honorable mention I'll put out there is the Nike Cortez, the Huaraches.
The Huaraches.
The
ones that just came out. Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah, that's not my steez for sure, but
That's
I know
super.
everyone was hyped about the Air Max 95, so I think keeping that momentum, everyone's gonna try to go for those too.
The 95s.
Try to have got them, I should say.
The J Balvin 3s.
The black ones, the
J
Rio.
Balvins.
Yeah, I think also because I'm in Arizona, having that to me is like, oh, that's a sun shoe I can wear.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
that's what I thought about when I saw it too. The black with like the gradient. I was like, everyone's gonna wear that with their Valley jerseys.
Oh yeah.
So that was the list, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Maybe put your own top 10 lists in there, and we can kind of have a discussion. Like you said, we all gave kind of our opinions and want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. So that's been it, guys. Till next time.
Peace.
Later.